How did you start buying real estate? What was the main focus on that? Was it purely just you want cash flow, you want to retire, you want something to fall back on? What was the motivation?
You know, what's really important to me with real estate is that I didn't want to be that guy that made a bunch of money once. I was actually scared of that. I don't really care that much about the cash flow at all. I really care about the appreciation because I'm probably going to do the whole buy, borrow, die thing anyway. Mm-hmm. Trust it. And so for me, I want to be rich for sure. I want to be wealthy. Wealthy's, you know, the difference between being rich and being wealthy is one of them is destructible, one of them is not. Actually, Brandon Carter asked me lately, do you have a money goal? And I said no. And the reason I said no is I really have a layers goal. I want layer on top of layer on top of layer on top of layer of income. That way I know that no matter what happens in any climate, any condition, anything that comes up for me, I'm impenetrable.
So I'm curious what that is, like what your definition of wealth is and what that income layer is for you.
Well, as far as income goes, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't need to make hundreds of millions of dollars. I probably will at the rate that I'm going. And I plan to develop more and do more things because I genuinely like the game and the chase and the climb of business. But I think the happiness thing, I think they've done studies on this. It's like, somewhere at like $2 million a year, you're not much happier until you get to like maybe like something stupid like 10. And then that amount of happiness is super small.
That was Ty Lopez. Yeah. I learned more about that from Ty Lopez than I have from anyone else. He said that you don't want to be the dude making like $20, $30 million a year because that person's taking all the hits. They're taking all the criticism. They're taking all the liability. Yeah. It's the people making 1 to 3 that have the best work-life balance. They're making enough to pretty much buy whatever they want, but they're flying under the radar in terms of, you know, being a punching bag.
Right.
Taking on. He said that most people were the happiest in terms of that upper bracket, 1 to 3.
Yeah.
So what is it for you?
Last year I made about 5. And you know what's very humbling about that to me? I met guys like Ed Marlette. Dude has an island. You know what I mean? Like somebody told me the other day, it was a negative comment. They said something along the lines of like, you're not any effing Elon Musk or Steve Jobs. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. And I think that it's important for the young people to really understand this is that there is such a huge gap between me and that person. That person, let's say they make $75K a year and I make my 5 million or whatever I make, or 3 million or 4 or 7 or whatever it is, below 10. I might never be Steve Jobs. 100 million, 200 million, billionaire, Amazon, right? But I can tell you that the gap in happiness between me and Zuck is probably pretty small with less pressure. But the gap between me and the person that said that comment is light years.
So what is your ideal net worth or monthly income that you'd like to strive for?
Like I said, it's a layers thing for me, you know? I'd love to keep making what I'm making right now. Sometimes I pitch myself and I'm like, man, there's no way I can keep doing this forever, you know? Because one of my main businesses in this prime, the steel company, and everything we're doing online, it keeps growing and growing and growing. The real estate portfolio.
Can you share how that's broken down if you have, as Jack says, a pie chart?
Yeah.
You have your income. How is that broken down between the businesses?
I'll make around 4 in construction and I'll make 1 to 1.5 on the internet. And then I'm pushing everything back into the properties because I don't like the debt atmosphere right now. So I want to drive as much equity as we can into the properties to reduce the impact of debt service at 6% rates or an 8% rate. And then some people are holding IO for us. There's a balloon coming up and I want to be very, very equity strong when that refinance comes.
Sure. Now, why would you make less in the construction business? Because it seems to me that
I make more. I make the most in construction.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like over time, over the next 10 years, because you're afraid of just making it once.
I'll tell you.
That to me seems very stable. Such a long-standing career.
I'll tell you why. Is I don't think construction is brick and mortar. It's not near as explosive as the internet. And it's also very eat what you kill. I don't think I'll ever start another business where I don't get a lifetime return on investment of energy, or at least a very long one, right? So let's say you hold a property for 20 years and maybe you exit, or you hold and borrow against the equity. Insurance company would be a great example. like I've talked to Ed about possibly starting an insurance company myself, you know, because once you get a client, you're going to have them for quite a while. Construction is very much bid, hope you make money one time, then hunt. I don't think I'll start another business that is one hunt, one kill, and then back to hunting ever again.
Seems like you do really well training people how to do construction, or some sort of learning, some sort of online, you know, education company on
kind of like Gym Launch, but for construction.
Yeah, because I don't, as far as I'm aware, that doesn't really exist. Like a network of contractors, people that want to get into the trades. Like if I want to be an electrician, I'm sure it exists. I'm just not aware of it. I would love a community of other like-minded electricians that we could work together, grow together. You know, if I get a referral, I just don't have the time. I could bid it out to someone else. I could refer that. If it's in a different area, there's a network of just bringing people in.
Those
I think
people
that would be so valuable.
Those people exist. Those groups exist. They're just in person.
Okay.
And they're ran by like 60-year-old white men. Yeah. I mean,
so why don't you, it seems like to me that's your perfect business.
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why is because there's a lot of growing pains in construction. And then also right now, as for now, Andrew and I made a deal that we would work together on what we're working on. And so I'm not going to go back on that deal. You know, he's been really good to me. We're a team. And that's how I look at it. So it's a very easy decision for me not to do it. I get asked to do it all the time. And I do think I'd make a shit ton of money. But there's other ways to make other businesses. And one thing that I really like about the social media thing is that I'm acquiring very, very good talent. And what I love about having a brand is it creates a whole different relationship from the start of working with somebody. Previously, in my old life, if somebody came to work for me, it was very much kind of I don't want to say mercenary, completely different from the people that want to come work for me now because they know who I am. They know what I'm about. It's like they already have the core values. They already want to jump in and bang and row the boat and take it places. They already actually like the guy they're working for, which is a very uncommon situation in this world. And so if I can keep acquiring talent off the internet, if I can continue to buy properties, if I can continue to work with people I care about, and there's a purpose and a mission behind it, you know what's so crazy to me is that I get stopped like 20, 30 times a day for photos now, which is very new to me. But what I've noticed about it is instead of saying, hey, like an athlete or an actor, hey, I saw you on the show, or hey, you know, I see that you play for the Dodgers. They're stopping to tell me, you changed my life. What you say matters. And I enjoy being a part of that movement. And me and Andrew have done a lot of that together. It's very fulfilling to me. And so for now, until either things change or they never will, who knows, or we do something else, I quite enjoy it. And the money ain't bad. But more importantly, I'm really helping people. And unlike real estate and construction, when you hit a schedule or you give somebody a roof to put over their head, the people that I'm helping now actually genuinely appreciate it.